Amy Sporer, and Dan Elliott with sports. This is News 10 Nightside.
Flames erupt in the hills of Oakland, claiming property, and now tonight, at least 10 lives, and the biggest urban fire in California history still burns out of control as we speak. Hello again, everybody. A state of emergency in effect tonight as the giant wildfire, a wall of flames, sweeps through the Oakland Hills. At least 10 people are dead, hundreds of homes have been destroyed, and thousands of people have been evacuated. It all started just before noon in a heavily wooded area near the Caldecott Tunnel in the hills overlooking Oakland. Our News 10 reporter Dan Adams is standing by live in Oakland to bring us up to date on the very latest tonight. Hello, Dan.
George, it's been one of those nights that you'll never forget if you're here in the Bay Area. You've been able to see the flames throughout the entire Bay Area, and of course a pall of smoke covers this entire area tonight. There is some good news, however, right now. I don't know if you can tell behind me, the winds have calmed down significantly and the fire is calming down. However, it is still burning very much out of control. Let me get out of the way here right now and you can see the latest. The glow of red in the hills here of Oakland behind me. In fact, every once in a while as the wind whips up just a tad, you can see some of the flames licking up toward the sky. We just heard from Don Parada, who is the supervisor from the Board of Supervisors for Alameda County that represents this area. The latest figures that he has, this is as of about 15 minutes ago, 1,500 to 1,700 urbanized acres, meaning areas that have been covered by both timber as well as homes, have been burned. Hundreds and hundreds of homes have been destroyed. So many they will have no idea, at least for several days, exactly how many. As George mentioned, up to 10 fatalities reported at this time, at least 5 confirmed, 5 more believed to have been killed as well, and 40 to 50 injuries. Supervisor Parada said this is much worse than the quake in this area. As he put it, the quake was quick. It was over immediately, and generally they went right into a recovery effort. He said this, however, is ongoing and simply terrifying. Wind-driven brush fire exploded into a firestorm this afternoon as it roared through upscale neighborhoods in the hills above Oakland. Winds gusting to 30 miles per hour pushed the flames from street to street, then hillside to hillside. The fire moved so quickly that many residents only had time to grab sparse possessions and run into the streets. Others drove to safety as burning debris blew across the roadways. Still others ignored warnings to evacuate the area, staying behind instead to help firefighters battle the blaze. News 10 was with Governor Wilson tonight on an aerial tour of the fire area. Calling the firestorm a terrible disaster, the governor declared a state of emergency and placed the National Guard on alert. Oakland's mayor says hundreds of homes have burned, but it will be some time before the exact number is known. He's also answered criticism from some that their neighborhoods were being abandoned.
Well, obviously, people are very emotional at the loss of their homes, as they should be. Whether or not we're doing everything that's reasonable or not, I can only assure you that certainly is our intent and our commitment. After the fact, we probably will receive criticism because you cannot meet anything of this nature that is this overwhelming and this devastating to everyone's satisfaction.
Certainly after the fact, there will be a lot of questions. What you're looking at now are live pictures. That building you see there to the left of the screen is the Alameda County Courthouse. And you can see with perspective to that, the fire burning in the hills behind Oakland. Now, many roads in this area continue to be closed. Electricity remains to be off in much of the area of the hills above Oakland and Alameda County and all the way up through Berkeley. And by far, this fire is still very much out of control. No sign right now as to when it might be controlled. Reporting live from Oakland, Dan Adams, News 10. George?
Dan, thanks so much. It is a good sign, at least tonight, that the winds do appear to be dying down.
Fire has now risen to 19 people, more than 1,800 homes, nearly 900 apartments destroyed. It is officially now the worst fire in California history. The damage is expected to reach $5 billion. And now President Bush has also declared it a federal disaster, and that will allow the burned out residents a chance to rebuild using some low-cost federal loans. News 10's Dan Adams spent this day with some of those residents as they returned to their property for the first time since the fire, and a lot had nothing to return to. Dan?
Right, Jennifer, we're along Sheridan Drive, which is in the hills above Oakland, and it looks like almost any other street in this area. As you can see, just a few chimneys standing above the rubble. Now, some of the folks, as you mentioned, were able to return today. A lady who lives in the home over to the side of me here came back just before dusk, shook her head. She found nothing here. For the fire victims, it has been a very emotional day.
Things just like that.
All the houses are gone except ours.
Well, we'll do our best to get you up there.
Early this morning, they began lining up. The fire victims, hoping to hitch a ride on one of the 12 patrol cars escorting homeowners through the neighborhood's turned hell.
Some of them are grabbing pillows and cats and birds and goldfish and whatever they can stick in their pocket.
What's that noise?
That's a police car that's going to take us out to our house, honey.
Doug Hansen is one of the first to go.
Who's next in line?
We used to have this beautiful view of the other side of the valley with all these trees and beautiful houses and stuff. That whole thing was in flames when I left. Some of the nicest houses up here. God. Isn't that unbelievable? Merciless.
Street after street, the once tranquil neighborhoods lined with majestic homes defy description.
No, the smoke's all gone.
Yet in the middle of the disaster, Doug Hansen and his 2-year-old daughter Eva find their home still stands.
I'll show you a view that you won't believe. But now it's not as pretty as it used to be.
Hansen is right. It is a view that used to be.
I've been saying to myself, I can't believe my house made it. I can't believe my house made it. But my house made it. I'm very lucky, you know. It's incredible to me.
But all too often, it was a much different story. Not hundreds of times, not hundreds, but thousands of times. This is what people are coming back to.
I can't believe it's just sitting there and all this is like a wasteland.
One person said the tears shed today would have been enough to douse the flames on Sunday. Those who were here, though, know otherwise.
This was a kamikaze fire. Nothing could have stopped this. But I saw nothing.
Like most of his neighbors, Craig Shiner and his wife, Channel 2 reporter Betty Ann Bruno, returned to find virtually nothing.
I mean, we've lived here for 30 years. You know, my kids were all born here and grew up here, and all of the photographs and a whole lifetime of just collecting little stuff. We all found, you know, little pieces like this. A couple of these pots I'd made, pots we'd bought because we love that kind of stuff, and then it was okay until we found the cat.
Some losses can never be measured, but now, 48 hours after tragedy struck, there is a small rekindling of sorts of spirits.
But we'll rebuild, and the important thing is we're all safe. You had to come up here and see it so you can start the grieving, and then you start the rebuilding. That's what life's all about.
Yet for some, the uncertainty of life is overwhelming. 60 people remain missing. Here, loved ones leave a hopeful message looking for Charles and John. In the rubble of their home, so are police.
The place is so badly burned and so much rubble, it's really difficult to see anything.
If there was somebody in there, what's the likelihood of finding them at this stage?
Right now, not too good.
If there is encouragement today, it comes from the fire lines. Except for a few hot spots, the fire is contained. And with the help of crews like this one from the Sacramento area, full control is expected tomorrow morning.
Should there be a problem, wind comes up, the weather condition changes, we'll be able to, protect the house much better.
Officials hope to start demolition by the weekend. They say, however, it will take years, perhaps even decades, for this area to return to the way that it was before Sunday. Reporting live from Oakland, Dan Adams, News 10.
Thank you, Dan. Your heart does break when you see the pain and the grief and the agony that this fire has left behind. Thank you.